Hey everyone, thank you for listening to another episode of Bonding. I want to thank everyone who came out to the show in Southbury, Connecticut. I really thought I'd be able to talk through a burp on that one, and I didn't. I gave myself an aneurysm, and I'm going to have to finish this announcement before I take myself to a hospital. Boom! More road dates coming up. If you missed me in Southbury, Connecticut this time, oh my God, another burp is coming. I am going to die. Okay, I'm back. I promise today's a good episode. We have Andrew Ginsberg on. We just finished recording. He is hilarious. You're going to love him. Okay, I'm going to be in, if you missed the Southbury show on the 10th, which was this last Friday, I'm going to be in Stamford, Connecticut at New York Comedy Club on March 7th at 7 p.m. I'm also going to be at the Comedy Connection in Providence, Rhode Island on March 9th. I'm going to be in Philly the 21st of March, Helium Comedy Club, Timonium, Maryland on the 30th at Magoobies. Both of those are going to be Comedy Connection in Providence and Magoobies are both really, really big shows. Those ones sell well. That's when you can start seeing me in other areas. So if you have friends, family, if you're coming out there to those shows, just come out. Take a plane out there. Come help out your boy. But anyway, Comedy Connection, Providence, Rhode Island, March 9th. We got Helium Comedy Club in Philly, March 21st. We have Magoobies in Maryland, March 30th. San Diego, April 4th at Mic Drop Comedy. The 6th of April, I will be in Phoenix. The 21st of May, I will be in Salt Lake City, Utah, and Zanies in Chicago on May 9th and 10th. All those tickets are available at my linktree.com/TroyBond website. Coming soon, but coming sooner is me. I really shouldn't have paused and wrote this announcement down before I said it. Coming sooner is this episode of the podcast with my man, Andrew Ginsberg. I love him to death. And me and Tori sat down with him. We had a great time. Thanks for listening. New episodes every Monday. Make sure to subscribe if you're following on YouTube. Make sure to click subscribe if you're listening on Spotify and Apple. Andrew Ginsberg on the pod. Thanks for listening to another episode. Welcome to another episode of Bonding. We got full house today.
Full house.
I'm your host, Troy. I almost forgot my name there for a second. To the left of me, probation officer and bartender expert, Tori Cole.
That is me.
Producer extraordinaire, Maggie Naughton, all the way from the Kennedy assassination.
Yes.
And our guest today, Miss Kitty Reynolds.
Woo. Hello. Welcome, Kitty.
You know that was my grandmother's name?
Kitty?
Her real name was Irma, but she was afraid of cats, so everyone called her Kitty.
Cute.
And that's
cool.
they put it on her gravestone.
No way.
Kitty?
It said like Irma Kitty Bond, yeah.
I'd be
my
named
God.
Sharks.
I
if
haven't
that
even
was-
thought about my tombstone.
Yeah, that's
I
something
haven't even thought about
I
it.
think that's something you have to think about because otherwise someone's gonna fuck it up.
Right, and I
True.
could go tomorrow and I have
Right.
no directions for everyone.
Nothing.
Because what do
They could
most
put
peop-
Catherine
Like
with
how
a
do
C.
they?
Could put Catherine.
Because I know you've said Kit or Kitty.
Yeah.
What do you normally go by?
Okay, so should I take you through the story
I
of
would
my
like
name?
it.
Let's,
By all
yes.
means.
We have time.
Let's start from the top.
Right?
Yeah.
We have time.
Your parents did not name you Kitty.
They did not.
You
They
named yourself
me,
Kitty.
Yeah, they named. Well, actually,
Gangster.
they called me Kitty, but I was born Catherine. That's my mom's name and my grandma's name, so I was like the third Catherine. And my mom was like, "Okay, we just can't call her Kathy because that's me. So just cross that off." So they were like, "Okay, Cat. Like Cat is like a cute, like demure, little girl's name." But it just like didn't stick, and they were like Kit Kat, like Kitty Cat. So like my whole family calls me Kitty, and like when I was young, it was like Kitty Cat, or
Cute.
yeah, like very like cutesy. So I go to second grade, and the teacher's like, "Do people have nicknames?" Like, and I'm like, Kitty Cat, like Kitty Cat. That's what. Like I'm fucking 7.
Yeah.
And she
Like,
goes,
who is this porn star?
yeah, I was like, just fucking big balling is a hobby. And she's Mrs. Gatz. I'll never forget.
Her name was Katz?
Mrs. Gatz.
Gatz, like
Yeah,
the gun.
very
That'd
old
be funny.
school.
She's like, that's my name.
yeah, very old school motherfucker.
twice, children. I'm Mrs. Gatz. My husband is a producer for Marymount.
That was exactly.
Yeah.
That's exactly who it was.
Gatz.
And she was like, "That's too casual for school." Imagine
What?
saying that to a 7-year-old. I was like, what does that mean?
Your
like,
name is Miss Kithryn.
Yeah, I like came home, I was like, what does that, Mom? Like, I can't be Kitty Cat. And so I continued as Catherine. And then the next year, this is such a dramatic telling of such a
I love it.
I love this.
such a trivial story.
On my taxes at age 7, I worked in the mines as Catherine, but I walked the roads as Kitty.
I'm like what is it? Like Victorian child.
Yeah, it's like someone on the Titanic would be named Catherine.
Yeah.
I'm like, so I'm still a Victorian child until 3rd grade when the teacher, I'm line leader one day.
Wow.
And she's like, Catherine, go to the next stop. Yeah, huge
dick.
fucking
That
dick.
is-
Huge, big dick move. And yeah, me fucking bringing everyone a gym. And she's like, that's too long. Like, what do you want to be called from down the hall? And I was like, Cat. Thinking this is my moment to like rebrand. You know, I was really thinking she hears me wrong. She thought I said Kit.
Oh, no.
And I just never had the balls to correct her. And at that age, you know how your teacher like dictates your name, like your name tags and like all of that. So it was just like Kit R. So I just became like Kit at school. And then I continued as Kit in my public life. And then my family called me Kitty always. So then at a certain point, I was just like, okay, I would introduce myself as Kit, but then it would just be both. And then when I just bought a website, I just bought Kitty Reynolds because Kit Reynolds was taken.
Kitty Reynolds, it sounds good.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Kit Reynolds like gets
Kit
cut
Reynolds
off.
was my father. Please call me Kitty.
Kitty Reynolds, like interesting.
Yeah, I'm just a fucking doormat. I was like, okay, that's my name. Okay, Miss Jacobson. Like, I'll be Kat. I'll be whoever you fucking want me to be. You know what I mean? David Tell called me Caitlin when he met me. I was like, okay, I'll be Caitlin.
Caitlin.
Whatever. Yeah.
Rip up all the name tags.
Yeah.
Get rid of the website. CaitlinReynolds.com.
Right. Yeah, new domain. Buy it right now. I was like, okay, I'll be whoever.
For like 5 years at Broadway, they would often have my name on the board as Tony Board. And I'm like, I'm here every night, guys. Tony Board.
As a host as well.
Who
Yeah.
wrote that down? Did Rich just think that was your name for a while?
No, it was even worse with Rich because like my name on the lineup would be like he wrote. It would be like he wrote the lineup after getting clubbed in the head. There'd be so many typos. And, like, it would say like Troy host 45 minutes up top, and I'm like, there's a huge gap in this show, guys. And like, no, it's fine. I'm like, I don't know who this fuck Tony guy is, but I owe him a lot of money.
The other day it said Julia Diaz, and I was like, come on.
Yes. Oh my god, that's my favorite.
Yeah.
Oh my
It
god.
happens. You think like it's like when you're a kid, you think your parents are gods. Then you get older, and you're like, you're just people. Like you think that people in positions of power and comedy, you're like, wow, they're gods. And you get closer, and you're like, oh, your name's on your underwear.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'd get it mixed up.
Right. Fucking nobodies. We're all
Kitties.
just
They're
idiots.
just kitties and people who are renaming us kitties.
Yeah. That's the whole world.
You grew up in Long Island?
I grew up on Long Island, unfortunately, but it builds character. I think Long Island is character building.
Right. It
Because-
didn't teach you how to be dominant, but everything else was...
Yeah, it taught me how to like endure bullying. You know what I mean? 'Cause
Were you
just taught me
bullied?
to endure. Yeah.
Were you
Yeah.
bullied as a kid?
Oh yeah.
Really?
I
For
was-
what?
So when I was like very young, I remember there was an incident where a kid was spitting on me on the bus, like consistently.
That's just
That's
my mom
battery.
had to
That's
go-
not bullying.
Yeah, that's
Right?
that's
And he was
actually
like an older kid. Like I was like a kindergarten girl. We're talking like a 2nd grade boy was like spitting on your girl. I was like, is this a shower? Like what's going on?
He's like, your name's Kitty. You can handle it.
Yeah. Is this fucking Eddie Saller, motherfucker.
Why
What,
is your
do you
mom
remember his
so-
name?
Yeah, Eddie Saller.
Eddie Saller.
Mm-hmm.
Eddie's
Call him out.
fucking
Yeah,
saliva
I want to
over
get
here.
his
Fucking
name on
Eddie
blast.
Why do you have so much spit, Eddie?
Yeah. And I
Eddie
don't even know where he
Salivator.
is.
Oh,
Hey-o.
oh, put that on the name tag, teach.
I don't even know what he could be up to. And his
Spitting.
family like kept the Christmas lights on till March. You know what I mean? Like, I don't.
lick
That sounds very Long Island, though. I
Yeah.
feel like that's most. I don't
Very.
know.
It's a fucking war on Christmas. Not on this block, dude.
Yeah.
It's 24/7.
Yeah. Not here. You got spit in your stocking over here, babe. Yeah, I can't with Long Islanders. But you know what? Like, it's the same. I feel like it's the nice and kind conversation that people are having where people from the West Coast are, what is it? People from the West Coast are nice, not kind. And people from the East Coast are kind, not nice.
Interesting. I've actually never heard that, but that
Yeah.
sounds
Welcome,
right.
The
welcome
people
into the
on the East
conversation.
Coast it's just so nice to be heard. Is people from the East Coast are kind? but not nice.
Are kind, not nice. Like they'll help
makes
you.
sense.
They'll pull over if your car's like on the side of the road, but they'll be like, "What the fuck, you fucking idiot! You don't know how to spare?
Right,
What are
yeah.
you doing?" But they'll help you.
Yeah, they'll say a lot of slurs with a BLM sticker on their car.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's that kind of fun.
Yeah.
But people from the West Coast are kind. but
Nice, not kind.
Nice, not kind.
Right. They'll be friendly, but like they won't actually go out.
So they're
of their
fake
way.
bitches, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
I have
Not
yet
there
to
when
go
it
to the West
matters.
Coast, so I'm gonna keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Wait, really? You've never been to California? Right? Oh my god.
I will be.
I'm excited. Yes.
April 4th.
April 4th. Get your
I
tickets
think
now.
it's April 4th. Yeah,
Yeah,
San
yeah.
Diego.
San
I
Diego.
forget what club it is, but I will be there.
Oh, wait.
And
Yeah, I
so
actually
will
want to
some
know which club.
celebrity friends. Yeah, I don't know which one. It's in my phone.
Okay. I just did mic drop there.
That's where I'm going.
Do you like it? Did you like
That's
it?
where I'm going.
Yes.
Mic Drop Comedy Club on
Awesome venue.
April 4th.
When did you do Mic Drop?
Yes. Tell me, what was your experience like?
Yo, it was beautiful place. It's
Yeah.
brand new. I
Uh-huh.
did Big Pine Comedy Festival there, and Big Pine was also just really. I don't know how much you guys. I don't want to go on and on about comedy if you don't want
Go
me to.
on and on.
But it was a really nice festival because they had.
I don't know why I got so gay with that. Girl, please.
Keep it
Don't ever talk to me about
Do
the
what
family
you need to
business
do.
unless you got all day. Because I want to hear. But
It was
go on.
so cool. They have like the actual Big Pine Festival is very cool because they have the judges come and do like panels, and you can like do Q&As just about everything, all things comedy. So even when you're not performing, like all day, you have things to do.
Cool.
And then they give you like a little They have like a podcast room in there where they give you like a little 20-minute pod.
Would you look at
So
that?
it's a great festival.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Did you know anybody else
knew
when you,
someone
before
that-
you got there?
No, not before I got there. And then I made a ton of friends. Like, they definitely select people on like personality too,
Yeah.
a little bit. Like, yeah. So it was like, yeah, like it was good peeps. And like even the New York people that were there, I hadn't met. And now I've been like seeing them more and more. And I'm
Right.
like,
Yeah.
all right, these are my Big Pine players.
Yeah.
Like,
Cool.
let's be in. And now we're friends because we bonded, you know?
When did you
Mic
start
drop.
doing comedy? Why did you want to do comedy? Who hurt you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
So
was gonna say
many.
really quickly, it's funny that you say you're a doormat because on stage I feel like you're not at all. You have a very commanding presence. So do you think comedy kind of like helped you get past that?
I think I am.
Great question, man.
Yeah, great
I
question.
pretend to. Very good question.
Thank
I
you.
pretend.
Everyone tell
She was
me.
like, I want to hear it from the
Everyone,
person they're
yeah, everyone has to say it. Okay, it's weird because I'm like in my everyday life, I'm pretty outgoing or like loud or whatever. I'm not shy to like say something, but in my personal life, I'm very shy to actually confront or say what I feel in certain situations. You know what I mean? Like I will just let someone treat me a certain way. But in like everyday life, if a stranger, like I'll be an asshole to a stranger, no problem. Like this guy at the smoke shop went in front of me and I was like, "Oh, ladies first." Okay.
You said that?
Yeah.
Amazing.
And it killed the whole shop. I was like, "All right, I'm out. Thank you so much. I'm Kitty Reynolds. Have a great night." I was like, "This is sick." But then I felt bad. You know what I mean? I was like, "Oh." That's
Did he
like,
apologize?
Yeah.
No, he
Good.
killed himself.
Yeah. He was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't
That's
see
the
you."
greatest apology you could have done.
Right in
He's
front
like,
of
"Oh, I didn't see you." I'm like, "Yeah, exactly. You didn't see me. That's the fucking problem." Like, yeah, I know you didn't see me. Like, you don't see women.
Women in the smoke shop, ladies. It's 2023.
Which
Yeah.
smoke shop was this around
He
here?
was in Queens.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It was all those smoke shops in Queens. You ever look at the names of them? It's so great.
Yeah, this
It's like Quick Stop or like
it's
or,
like beer, candy, gum.
Yeah, candy gum, edibles,
Yeah.
fentanyl. It's great, and it's like the size of a closet. You can't go in with a backpack. Like,
And
you
they're
will
on
knock
every
shit
block.
over. Yeah,
Should I tell you
every
when I
block
got
now.
locked into a smoke shop?
Yes.
Oh my
That
God.
sounds like a horrible panic room.
Yeah. Okay, but I didn't even answer your question.
Sorry, yeah.
But I'll come back to it. But this guy in the smoke shop.
Great question, man.
So
Great
I have
question.
every.
Great question.
I
Get back.
the people should know, and I keep fucking. I'm so
love
sorry.
it.
I'm
You're
like
kidding.
So
I'm the
intimate.
worst.
I
I'm
love
like,
it.
so Maggie. I buy several vapes a day. This is a part of my addiction. I throw them out and buy them every day, multiple times a day. So I have several smoke shop boyfriends. Like I have different
Love
smoke
that.
shops, and I see them multiple times a day. And I, hey, what's up? How's the gallstones? What's going on there?
Yeah,
how's
yeah.
your family? And
Do you know all their names?
yeah, yeah. And but this one guy.
They're all named Mohammed. It's really easy.
It's easy. And this one guy, I thought we were pals. You know, we'd joke around. And one day, he like was, I don't know, coming out of the store as I was going in. And so we just had like a weird moment coming in. And I was like, oh, ha ha ha, I thought you were going to do something. And he
Like rape.
What you
like,
thought, right?
Oh, I thought you were gonna, I don't know, I forget. Like I thought you were coming toward me or something. And I give him like a joke.
Yeah.
And he got offended.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh God. I'm like, and then he goes, and I hear a click. And I go, what? And he starts laughing.
No.
And I'm like, did you just? And he goes, oh, did you get scared before? Because like now, oh, are you scared now? And I was like, he's like joking around with me, but I'm like,
But you're
the
locked
door
in.
is locked behind me.
No.
And it's just me in there. And it's like one of these closet-sized smoke shops.
Yeah.
And I was just
All
like,
of a sudden, you're Matt Lauer.
yeah.
Holy shit.
All of a sudden. And I'm just like, okay, how am I going to like get out of this? So I was just
God.
like, you're so funny. Like you are like, and I'm just like laughing at his jokes because he like thinks he's funny. And also this guy, because we're pals, I know he drinks whiskey all day.
Oh, okay.
All day from the flask. So I'm like, he's like a little volatile. He could be like drunk and he could be like actually offended. So I'm like, let me just like flatter the hell out of him and get out of here. And so I did that. Got out, Spooky was like shaking, and then never went back.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
Wait, so he had to
Good for
unlock
you
the
in
door?
moment to be like, okay, I'm gonna fawn. Like I'm gonna like.
Yeah.
Oh my
but
God.
that's where I'm like,
I would
the
cry.
doormat. Do you know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
where the doormat comes out, and I'm like, ha ha ha, like, it's okay that you locked me in. I'm just going to be nice to, like, you let me out, you know?
That's almost like survival.
Yeah.
That your brain goes into.
I
Which I
would've-
feel like that's what comedy is, too, a lot
Yeah.
of the time for people.
Yeah.
And it's fucking horrible you had to do that in a situation like that, because what else can you do?
Right.
That man could easily have killed you.
Right.
And I mean, yeah, you would have gone to jail probably, but like that doesn't bring you back.
Right.
It could have easily happened. Like, and it sucks
Right.
that you have to be even in a situation where you're locked in a literal store and like, all right, let me try out this new 5 minutes here.
Yeah. I'm like,
Yeah.
let me be
I'm not
sweet.
seeing the light, and I don't want to.
Yeah. And it's like, I don't know. I feel like I was taught to be polite at all costs. And it's just like,
Especially in a
safety's
hostage
a little bit
situation.
more important than politeness. Like,
Yeah.
I'm learning now in adulthood.
Yeah.
Especially in New York City. It's like, okay, I can't just like worry that people think I'm being rude. Like, I
Right.
just have to get up and go to the next subway car if I feel weird. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Oh
Like,
yeah.
so, yeah, I am a little bit of a doormat, but I think also comedy is helping in that sense of like, no, I'm no shrinking violet. Like, I know what's going on here. Like,
Right.
and giving myself a little bit more permission to like be the person who I guess I'm trying to be on stage, or like be more myself all the time instead of just like in certain moments, you know?
I think it ages with you too, like because I'm the same way. Like I'm not a confrontational person, really. I kind of hate it. It's like I don't have divorced parents, but I had parents that fought a lot, and so when I see someone fighting, I'm immediately just like, God, I hate this. But like on stage, I will tell hundreds of strangers to go fuck themselves. I'll say horrible things to people,
Yeah.
you know, in the guise of comedy, but like that, I have command and control there. But and I know that it's a show, and it's entertainment. But like in life, confrontation is like life, and it's kind of scary. And most comedians, honestly, and most performers are like that. I feel like, or you know, they abhor confrontation. That's why they have managers and agents, because someone has to play the bad guy,
Right.
because like there's a fight or flight, I think, that happens in your brain when you are a comedian. It's used as a mask a lot of the time. It's used as survival. Like my dad was kind of heavy-handed when I was growing up, but I knew that if I could make him laugh, I probably wouldn't have got hit.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's like a survival thing. It's not like getting locked in the store. That hasn't happened to me yet. I don't know how you three live in the city. As when the cities aren't as bad as Fox News makes them sound.
Right.
First of all, they really aren't. But shit like that happens. Like it happens when the person knows you. I feel like most of the time, rather than like something happening on the street.
Right.
You know, it's not like you're gonna be like, hey, stick him up where I could see him. Empty your purse, doll.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I had a little bit of trust with this person,
Right.
and they overstepped it, and now I'm fucked. That's why you don't see any
Yes.
true crime documentaries in the Bronx. It's all like Midwest and outside where like,
Right.
people could spend time with each other. Here, we're just living on top of each other. You share the city for
Right.
the most part. Even the homeless don't fuck with you.
I also
most of the time.
I don't like when people also like you're not gonna get mugged by that one random guy who's always on the sidewalk screaming.
Yeah.
It's like it's gonna be that
That's my
weirdo
pastor.
neighbor, maybe. Yeah, it's gonna be
Yeah.
the creep, not necessarily like
Yeah.
the volatile person screaming. Like,
I just don't know
weird.
how. I mean, kudos to the three of you for.
I mean, there are so many times that I've woken up after a blackout, like, how am I
my
here
God.
right now?
Man.
But
Oh
yeah,
my
I mean,
God.
blessings. It's a miracle.
Every time I've lost my wallet in the city, I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. I'm not even mad. I'm just like, I don't know what took
How
me
many
so
times
long.
have you lost your wallet?
Twice.
Okay.
I used to go
Really
with my
sucked.
passport all the time because I would always lose my license. And then once I lost my keys while I was out. My roommate was out of town. And we found out that every door in the apartment complex is opened by the same key, which is terrifying.
Oh my god.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
This is
Oh
in
my
college?
God.
No, this was like a year ago.
Oh, is it your same place you're in now?
No, different
thank
place,
God.
But I got locked out.
What's the address of this place?
Yeah,
you were
yeah.
Talking about?
Literally, like it was crazy. And I'm like drunk on the floor, like waiting for my roommate to get home the next day. And these girls come into the elevator.
Wait, you're in the hallway?
I'm in the hallway.
How
Just
long were
waiting?
you out there?
Like, listen, I had done some other stuff, so I was like not there for that long. But I was like in the hallway, like sitting there, and these girls come in the elevator, and I was like, "Can you try and unlock my apartment?" And they were like, "No, that'll never work." And I was like, "Just try it." Like wasted.
Yeah.
And they try it, and they go, "Oh my god, it was crazy."
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Now
And
everyone has a
nuts.
set of someone else's keys. That's the bright side.
yeah. No,
You'll never be
exactly.
locked out again.
Honestly, like, so I was at Broadway the other day and I used my apartment keys to unlock one of the doors upstairs, and like it went in seamlessly, and it's like it made me stop to think about keys. Like, there's such an archaic thing, and the fact that like my key could go into the door but it just couldn't turn it. It's like just a few ridges, and like that's how we run around this place.
Right.
And like keys blow my mind, not to sound like a high idiot, but like
Dude,
It's-
there's
I
so
never
many
thought of
keys.
that though.
it's
They
kind
could-
of
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
just a little piece of
Just-
fucking
yeah.
metal is running the whole city.
Yes.
Just like.
And then people have bobby pins, and they're like, "I got it." Like it's crazy.
Also, like, I'm just blown away. How many buildings do you think are like this?
Exactly.
Like,
Right.
Exactly.
probably there's probably lazy
I'm about to go
landlords
try
all over the city.
my-
You should try it.
Trying
Right?
to save a couple of dollars.
Yeah. And like, oh my god. And you know they don't change the locks after
Oh, 100%.
tenants move
No,
out.
no, no.
Like,
No.
There was when I was living I lived in Hell's Kitchen for a little bit when in like a really bad part on 36th and 9th, and that building, that area kind of like was starting to get shitty. That's when we were like decriminalizing drugs, so like it was rough, and we had the same key thing. And the day I was moving out, like, he was changing it all to cards because like homeless dudes were getting into the building and just
Oh my
sleeping in the
God.
stairwell. And like would have needles in their arms and shit, and like everybody got a card. I had mine for 20 minutes. He literally gave it to me as I was moving out.
A card
Weird.
for what?
It's like it's like the key.
Oh,
you could
sure,
slide
sure,
it in the
sure.
door.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a fob thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
like it was like it looked like a credit card. But like that's even a little scary too.
like
'Cause, like,
college style. With
yeah,
them.
yeah. I feel like I'll lose that.
I
lose
had-
shit all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I have this phone. If I lost this phone, I'm fucked. Because I tried to put after I lost my second wallet.
You put
'cause
everything
I
on
would, like,
there.
Get drunk and like have spot pay and like it'd be in my pocket and then like boom, it's gone. Like there'd be nights where like $200-300 just down the drain because I just lost it.
Right.
So like I got this case and it has everything in it. I just got I have a new phone coming tomorrow. I'm gonna start losing
Ooh.
things.
Nice.
Yeah, thank you, Florida. That's what bought me that phone.
Heyo. Wait, are you getting the iPhone 14?
13.
Okay. I just got the 14.
I didn't do
not
that
to
well in
brag.
Florida.
This is sponsored by Apple. No, it's not.
and Jewel.
And Jewel. I'm trying to get alcohol brand partnerships because like I've been trying to get partnerships and brand deals and ads for a long time. But like a big thing with it is it's lifestyle versus like, do we want this brand being repped by this kind of, so
Yeah.
like my manager was like, I'm pitching you to alcohol brands because they don't give a fuck what you do. That's sort of the whole thing with alcohol. And, yeah, so like I'm trying to get alcohol sponsorship. So if you want to get as wild as you want to on this pod, we can get
Twisted
into it.
tea.
I was
Twi-
going to bring
Oh, God.
Heineken
Kill
0.0.
myself.
I was
What
going to
happened?
bring a Heine Zero. Have
Yeah.
you seen these
They're
commercials?
good.
They're good.
They're really good.
They're really good. I was gonna
Heineken
bring
Zero?
one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And be a
Ah.
cool girl.
Yeah,
And I
because Kitty's
forgot it.
sober too.
I was wondering.
3 sober girlies
This is
in the
only
room.
one cool dude on this podcast.
Sorry.
No, I was wondering because like I was thinking about it this morning when I was getting ready. I was thinking about questions I was gonna ask Kitty. It's weird because I was just like, "Is Kitty sober?" And then I was like, Yeah, fucking probably.
Drunk or sober.
Like, not that I'm
Comedy.
like,
There's
man,
no
we
in between.
can't get fucked up on this pod.
Yeah.
That's good. I didn't know
Luckily,
that.
I
Did you-
function drunk. People, I think I'm drunk most of the time, though.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I've been fine in sobriety. People think I'm
But
Yeah.
are you normally high?
usually just high. Yeah.
Okay.
And then, but my personality is such that I'm weird enough that people think I'm on drugs. So it's fine.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. It's really fun.
I like the way you said that like a Narnia quote. My personality is such.
It is such that I can just do what I normally do, and people react in the way they react. And,
It was a fortnight ago where I had my last picture of ale.
yeah.
What
It's
did you?
1 year tomorrow.
Oh my
Wow,
God.
congrats.
Exciting.
When this comes out tomorrow, this is your anniversary.
Oh,
I love
That's
that.
exciting.
Sobriety
Oh,
pod.
this is my sobriety
We
party.
bonded.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Did
Wait.
you- Yeah, go ahead. No, Tori's the queen of sobriety questions.
Well, I just want to know your number one lesson you learned in your year of sobriety that you will take on with you, whether you go back to drinking or not. Like a nugget of information that you'll cherish from this time.
I think that I'm better than everyone else.
Okay, of course,
No,
obviously.
She did the same thing.
Yeah, we're on our sober high horses, just riding through the night.
It's the
I'm high,
honestly
riding low.
that's what keeps you in it is the superiority
Oh, yeah.
complex of it all. Because I think that's the only thing that keeps you sober is when you see people being drunk. 'Cause
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
or being too drunk. Because otherwise, you're like, why wouldn't I? Like when I see people behaving normally with a glass of wine, I'm like, I could do that. I
Yeah.
could handle it. And then I'm like, no, I'm also could be that girl at the bodega at 3 a.m. shouting at that
Yeah.
person. Like, you know what I mean?
It's
So
crazy,
I'm like,
like,
okay.
the personality disorder you go through the beginning of the night. You're like, I'm such a fucking loser. Everyone's having so much fun. And then by the end, you're like, oh, I'm crushing it. I'm fine.
Yes, it is a whole trip for
You're
your
like,
personality.
wow.
Yeah.
I'm so good. Because then you see somebody fall, somebody make an act. You're like, oh, I'll never do that again.
Yeah. I walked into the liquor store like the other morning because I was like,
Morning.
yeah.
Almost didn't make it to a year.
No, I walked because I was like, let me look for like it was Super Bowl Sunday, and I was having
Oh.
that feeling of like,
Right.
I can't drink like everyone else anymore. Like, fuck me. And so like I went into a liquor store, like, let me just see whatever they have. And I get like, I find like a little non-alcoholic Merlot. Really did the trick. Good stuff. But I see this woman there, and she's asking the cashier and like I'm in my darkest hour where I'm like, if I just drank, I bet I'd feel better now. Like I bet this sobriety is keeping me uptight and anxious, and I bet if I just let it go, I'd be good. And then I see this woman at the cashier, and she's like, what's the smallest bottle of vodka you have? And he's like, well, we have the personals, we have the airport nips. And she's like, oh, just a nip. Like, and she's like, I just needed to get home.
Oy.
And I was like, yep, I'm keeping the non-alcoholic. Like, let's go. I was like, that would be me again in 3 months. Like,
Yeah.
Did she just like crack it open in the store or what?
yeah, she was just like with me, I guess.
Was she
I mean,
like-
talk like a kettle black.
Yeah.
Like, here I am
Right.
with a vape, but
Yeah.
like, can't go 5 minutes.
Look at her, fucking loser.
Yeah, right? I'm like, she
Oh,
can
yeah, that
fucking
calms the
addict.
shakes.
No self-control out of this girl. I'm like, yeah, fucking fingering myself with a vape. Like, I can't be mad at her, but like, it's just, I guess it's the less embarrassing addiction for me because I black out. So
Yeah.
the blackouts were so crazy.
Yeah.
So I think actually the one lesson would be, it's worth it to live in your value. It's worth it to live in the thing that you decided, even if it makes other people or yourself uncomfortable at times.
I like that.
Like overall, it'll feel worth it.
Beautiful.
That was great.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And also discomfort leads to growth all the time. Like it's the thing you have to go through to grow through type of thing. But like if you stay comfortable all the time, you're never gonna get to the next level. Like I
Right.
had that realization the last few months. I was like, I gotta stop doing so many of these shows because I'm just gonna be comfortable and just sort of phone it in and just collect the money and then peace out. And like you have to stop doing. I had to put myself and start doing shows I didn't want to do so I could get another audience or get to the next level. I mean, and that's just like using comedy as an example. But even when I was getting off coke, to your example of behavior, like there's like 2 or 3 people that I see all the time high out of their minds just crushing lines, and I look at them being like, yeah, I'm never going back to that.
Yeah.
And then like I have my own vices and problems, but I do feel you get that little superiority of value, like you said. Like, you know, I do like feel sometimes I'll pat myself on the back and be like, okay, well, at least I pulled out of it. Because you don't feel like you have self-control when you're going through an addiction. And when you're on the other side of it, I think one of the biggest lessons of self-love you learn is you do have self-control. You don't feel so helpless.
And I'm sure there's situations, whether it's like you're high or you're drunk, where you didn't think you could do them sober before, and you just force yourself to do it, and you're like, I'm a human being. It'll be fine.
Right.
You know, it's not as bad as you think.
I remember the first time I went on stage not drunk, or like after not having drinks. I mean, I wouldn't be hammered, but like I'd want like 1 or 2 drinks. I told myself just so I could be loose and feel silly, and you never know what might come out. And I didn't like intentionally be like, I'm not going to drink and go on stage. I just got off stage and I was like, oh, wow, I'm still funny. Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, like, oh, check. Good.
Yeah,
Glad
right.
it's there.
Then you start to immediately be like, okay, let's see. Is this an illusion that I'm
Yeah.
putting myself through? Like Alan Carr's books, I liked that about where
yeah.
he talks about like.
We did.
the-
Yeah, you did too, right? Yeah.
all I read them all, and it definitely changed my relationship with alcohol and cigarettes. Like I used to chain smoke like 2 packs a day.
Really?
And Juul. I just stopped juuling like a month ago.
Wow. Do you miss it?
No, not really. I Juul. Well, I would Juul because I hated smelling like shit and taking pictures with people after shows, and I was like, I don't want to smell like cigarettes. Like thinking, I felt like a trailer park dad.
Yeah.
Like, come on over. Sorry, I didn't take it to Disney this year. You know, the check didn't come in. But I'm gonna build that motorcycle this summer. How's your mom's boyfriend doing? Yeah, is he good? Is he good? He's still leaving the door unlocked? All right. Don't tell her I asked about him.
It's
Still living the dream, kids. All right. Hey.
So that's why I Juuled, but then like that's even worse because you can do that inside.
Right.
You know, like,
Right,
I
there's
would
no
walk
boundary.
up 5 stairs and be like,
Yeah.
and then like I wake up some nights and be like, why does it feel like someone's nailing something into my chest? And I'm like, oh, that's the Juul, definitely.
Yeah.
That's a
And I
popcorn lung.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really what it is. There's a hole in there. And then I started up with the body dysmorphia again a couple of months ago, and I've been
Healthy.
going-
Started back up.
Started that old back up again. I'm doing the old 2 workouts a day thing.
That old chestnut.
Cracking this one open, boys. Let's get into her. But like once I started doing 2 workouts a day again, like one I would be going through cardio and being like, yeah, I have got to stop juuling, because then I'd be like, why am I getting sick all the time? But I wasn't even getting sick. I was just coughing up the tar in my lungs.
Right.
And be like, wow, this is weird. Maybe that's why I feel like
So-
shit all the time. 'Cause
Yeah,
I'm
like-
drinking and smoking every night.
Yeah. 2
So-
plus 2 equals 4. Maybe the fucking 8 things
No,
I'm smoking.
this ain't adding up. I don't like it. I don't like this answer. It's genetic. My grandma smoked till she was 74. Then she died at 75. So like I pushed all that out, but it changes your relationship when you step away from it, I feel like. Just because when you're not consistently putting something in your bloodstream every single day, obviously.
Right.
It's like when you take out sugar.
Right.
And you look at people eating cake and you're like, ugh, what are you doing, you pig?
I haven't gotten to that stage, but I'd like to.
I feel like you call yourself a pig.
I
more than
do
anything
all
else.
the time, but I'm still gonna eat the cake
amount of
and say
times
that.
I've walked into her crying into a jar of almond butter, and I'm like, hey, let's just put it down. Let's put it down. There's way more at Trader Joe's. There's not an almond shortage. It's okay.
There could be.
It's just like writing whore in peanut butter on the mirror. It's so great.
When the first time I met Tori, she had a pie that she was giving away to.
That is so in character for you.
She's like, please,
I baked
someone
it.
eat this pie. Like it's in a bag, in a big
Oh my
gallon
God.
Ziploc.
No,
It wasn't even intact.
No,
It
it
was
gets.
just-
I had eaten like half of it, and the best part about that pie was it was given to me by my personal trainer, and I was like, "You fucking bitch!"
Hey, I gotta keep the lights on somehow. See you next week.
I'm not
That's
kidding
why
you.
Planet Fitness gives away pizza and
Yes.
bagels. They're like, yes, eat, fatty, eat.
Every time you came up to host, you're like, please, guys, seriously, like, please take this off my hands. Like, I don't trust myself with this pie.
You're
Like,
gonna pass this bag around. Everybody grab a spoon. Well, now I understand why you don't host this much anymore.
Yeah,
Like,
I
she's
know.
pushing pies. And she's crying
That is
the
so
whole time.
funny. That was the first time you met.
yeah, I think in my head, that's
Yeah,
the first
yeah.
time we met.
That's a great
That's-
intro.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah,
Because you were hosting Rio's mic, and I was like, oh, this is one of other Rio's gals.
Right.
And she's such a treat.
That's
Give-
a great
giving us
name.
treats.
Rio's Gals. is a
Rio's
great name for a
gals. That's how we
podcast.
bonded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rio's Gals.
We should
Rio's
pitch that
gals.
to Rio.
You can see it at Copacabana.
Yeah, Rio's a gem.
Gem.
R.I.P.
But you know,
Cut that out.
R.I.P. our hosting
Rest
days
in
for
power.
Mia.
R.I.P. Yeah, R.I.P. our hosting days.
Yeah, that's a true story.
Yeah.
With Coke, so Coke is back to cocaine.
Back to addictions.
I feel like Coke might be, obviously it's one of the hardest because it's the most addicting, but it's also one of the most insidious in terms of like negative benefits because I feel like with nicotine at least there's like this weird low after where you're like, oh, my energy's weird. With weed, you start losing like zest for life. With alcohol, you're like, I have no friendships anymore. But with Coke, like, I keep pissing people off. But like, I don't remember the last week. My parents disowned me. But Coke feels like it's all up. So how do you find the awareness to go, like this is getting to be something uncontrollable?
I think it was just the emptiness that you had, because like I did it for 9 years too. I started when I was 15. I got off when I was smoking it at 15, and then I did it for about 3 years, and then I was watching Drake host SNL, high out of my mind on my 18th birthday, alone in my room.
I know exactly the SNL.
Yeah,
episode.
he was doing a Cat Williams impression, and I was watching him do it, and I was like, man, I had like the crack pipe in one hand and Drake in my peripheral vision. And I was like, I'm never going to get to do comedy professionally if I keep smoking this. And then I stopped because I got it through my uncle, and then he died, but I had a good connection with his dealers because I was putting additions onto their houses.
That's what you got.
What's going on over here? Hey, that's my street name.
That's what you got in the will. Just a dealer. That's
Yeah.
so
Did he
dark.
die
Funny
from
thing is,
cocaine?
like, he was diabetic and he wasn't. I mean, it takes away your appetite, and he was smoking in a hotel room alone, and then just died. But I was the one that called all the dealers to tell them that he died, and they like were crying to me. Like, I don't know if they were
Damn.
crying because he had such. I was 15, 16 when he died. Yeah.
Oh my God.
But they were like crying, and I wasn't sure it was because they lost a customer or because they had such a close relationship. And then I did
It's
it
such a
for like.
sad thing to think at 16 years old.
I was like, well, no, they're never
Yeah.
gonna know because nobody's gonna
Right.
call them, and I know them, and it was weird. I think that's how I started the grieving process. But anyway, I stopped doing it when I was 18, moved to the city, started getting into blow again when I was like 19, 20. And I was really, really into it.
Because your thought is like, okay, it's different this time.
Yeah, I didn't feel
Okay.
like I knew I was addicted, but it didn't feel as dirty because I could do it with other people and friends, and
So like it's more social.
it's more social. Yeah, like you don't like, and so I did it for like 3 years after that, and then I stopped in 2019, and then COVID hit. And I was living with a bunch of bartenders who did it very casually.
Irish bartenders,
Yes.
right?
Well, I didn't
Just
want you to get all racial about it. Look at the.
we have some Irish folk
You know
here.
me.
yeah, those
Listen.
big cokeheads.
No, I just like to
Keep them away from me.
paint the picture because that really adds to the picture that you're painting.
Right.
It
I was
does
adding
add.
color.
Yes, right. Yeah. Irish dudes love Coke, Tori. You're right.
That's my whole
goddamn
Thanksgiving dinner. It's
Anglo-Saxons.
just Coke.
Yeah.
It's great.
Just potatoes.
No, you're right.
and
You're right.
cocaine.
They were Irish bartenders. Yes. Who are also my friends, because I have
Right.
Irish friends, unlike
Right.
some people in this room. But they were all my boys, and we were doing blow, and COVID hit, and then I was full-blown addicted again. For like that period from like January to August, I was doing Coke
Like
every
that deep
single
quarantine
day.
time?
Yeah,
Okay.
every day.
How did your nose not fall off?
It was so I don't know. Like there's a little tiny dent
Hole?
in my septum. Yeah, like it feels like a hole sometimes when I snore certain ways, and like there's certain snot building up. Like it sounds like a train whistle. I've been told
Interesting.
by the MTA. They're like, we got to get you on the force, kid. But to answer your question of like realizing when it was time to stop, like the same emptiness and the same gluttony I felt for years, I realized
Gluttony.
caught up with me. Like when I'd be high, I would just be like, I just want to be in my room all day doing coke. Like, I just want to do coke all day long. Fuck everything else. And also, it was during quarantine, too, so there wasn't much else to do, which makes it a horrible quarantine drug. Like, my apartment was clean all the time, but it was always rearranged. Nobody could find shit. Like, why is the toaster in the linen closet? Like, this whole thing I'm working out, guys. We can iron our shirts, and it's perfect. Put me down. And just
Look at the new map I made of the kitchen.
From memory, I saw in a dream. I don't know how we're gonna get to Mars. We have to start walking yesterday. And just the same feeling of like, this is all I want to do, and then once it's gone, being like, oh, like when you hear the birds chirping at 6, 7 in the morning, and you weren't ready to wake up yet, and you're like I'm just gonna go for a walk to the liquor store and pick up a bottle of vodka. Then I'd start drinking at 7:30 in the morning, watching Space Jam, and just drinking
Space
vodka
Jam.
right out of a bottle, chain smoking, and then not waking up the next day at like 6, 7 p.m. Uber eating McDonald's because I didn't eat for 3 days.
Right.
Eating McDonald's, feeling like shit, being done with McDonald's, being like, I'm never gonna do coke again. 20 minutes later, picking it up. I didn't have like, anytime I ever set out and I was like, this is the last line I'm ever gonna do. Never worked out. Never once. There was like, I'd say like a 3-week period when I stopped doing it, where I'd be hanging out with friends and we'd be drinking, and I'd be like, you guys, think about ordering some coke. You want to get some coke? I would really love some coke. Bop, 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 bop. And once I got over that hump, I was fine.
Okay.
And I never really got the urge to do it again. There's definitely been times where like I've been in a depressive spiral, and just like, because I think the big reason why I wanted to do it too is because I wanted to die, but I didn't want to hurt my mom's feelings. So if I killed myself, she'd be upset. But if I overdosed,
but if I just sedate myself and not be here, like.
But I do not miss it now. I feel like meditation taught me everything I needed to know. It just taught me that like you can control what you're thinking about.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I have depression, so there's a chemical imbalance wherever the science is behind there, and sometimes you can't pull yourself out of it. But like, teaching yourself that you can be conscious of your own thoughts was
to
a big
live
thing.
in the feeling.
Yeah, sorry, I pontificated there for a bit.
No.
But yeah,
Spread your wings.
It's good being on the other side of it, and I also feel like now, for the first time in my life, I've moderated everything. You know, like,
Do you still have
What a
vices
nice
though, right?
place to be.
yeah,
What would you say your number one vice is?
probably weed.
Okay, that's
Well,
a
like,
healthy vice.
Yeah, that's more or less like pain management. I have a lot of chronic pain,
Right.
and the chronic pain be helping the chronic drain.
Ayo.
But,
I keep saying ayo.
I liked it.
We should do a
worked there.
count to every
it should be.
laugh.
We're gonna
Do
have
like
a Kitty
25
Reynolds
of them.
soundboard.
Yeah,
By the end of
ayo.
this episode. I'm just gonna like be in a booth. Like, all right, we're gonna need you to record these lines, please.
Bada bing. A little lower.
Went back, started doing Laughing Buddha shows in like September 2015. I was wearing a shirt and tie like to every show, like a knit tie with stripes. It was rough. And then I never stopped. That was like that was what, 8 years ago.
Wow.
So
Yeah,
cute.
yeah, so,
Suit
like,
tie try.
That's-
I was wearing a button-down shirt and tie. I thought I was Jimmy Fallon.
Oh my god, that's like the you know that guy from Curb? What's his name? Jeff Garland.
Garland, yeah.
Jeff Garland.
What the hell, Larry? Look at
Yeah, he was told. So he did stand up normally in like regular clothes, and then someone told him, it might have been Seinfeld, was like, "You look so uncomfortable in a suit. It is so funny. You look like you're trapped. You have to do it like when you're in Curb. You have to be wearing a suit on stage. And now every time you see him, he's in a tight suit and tie, and he looks like he's trapped. He looks like he can't
so
escape.
funny.
That's
and
hilarious.
like, yeah, when you go and he's like, it's like tight the collar.
Oh my God, that's
and you're like,
great.
but it is funnier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel so uncomfortable performing in a suit. Like, I've done it twice. Once was because I left the Sopranos movie premiere and I didn't have a change of clothes, so I was like, this will feel great. And I was like,
You
I
had to
gotta-
wear a suit to the premiere of the movie.
Of course I did.
Okay, sorry. I just want to make sure we
Yes.
all know that.
Some of us have class. This is an event.
Did you drink a
Would wear
Mountain
suit to
Dew
the
in a
president?
suit?
Yes, I did. At the Beacon Theater.
Yeah.
4 feet from Robert De Niro.
Sounds about right.
Did you
That's what I
cry?
was doing. Did I cry? Probably. I probably
Okay, yeah.
cried
You,
when
I feel like you
saw
cry
it.
at movies and stuff.
Well, it was the Sopranos movie. Of course I was going to cry. I have 2 ears connected to a heart, don't I? So I wore a suit then, and then I wore a blazer a couple of weeks ago, and because I was like, let me just try it out, and I felt so uncomfortable, but everybody was like, you look so good, but like I feel so boxy in it. I
Yeah.
feel like a woman. I can't explain it. I don't know why. I feel
Yeah,
like
being
Tilda-
a woman is very uncomfortable.
Yes, I
It
know. I've
is.
seen it.
It feels just like that.
yeah.
Like wearing a
It feels
blazer
like-
on stage.
Wearing a
Yeah.
blazer on stage.
You're just
I think
trapped
I
in your
just
own
ended
body.
women's suffrage. Yes, I'm
It
trapped in the
sucks.
body.
Yeah.
I felt like Tilda Swinton.
You've
Like,
no
I
rights.
just felt very forearmy.
Uh-huh.
You know, like I felt like I would look like like celery.
And also, it feels
That's how I
like
feel.
when you're in,
Like
when you
celery.
dress up for stage,
I
it
wish I
feels
felt
like
like
you take
celery.
yourself
So
seriously.
seriously, I know.
Yeah.
There's nothing worse than bombing when you look nice. I try to
Yeah.
look like shit as
Bombing
much
in
as I
any
can now.
form really sucks, but when you feel not disconnected to your outfit, it's worse.
You know the worst time to bomb is when you're wearing a fucking Spider-Man hoodie and you feel like a child. You feel like a 9-year-old
You always
boy
wear a
up there.
Spider-Man hoodie.
Yeah.
I know, and it sucks when you're not doing well.
When'd
wearing
you
one.
bomb in a Spider-Man hoodie?
Recently,
Damn.
in the middle of an 11 o'clock show.
How
I like
Spider-Man-y was it?
Spider-Man shooting webs, and it said Spider-Man on it. In case you weren't sure if it was Spider-Man, it said Spider-Man underneath it. And like it was like 10 minutes
Straight
in-
from the gift shop.
It's straight there. Yeah, it was great. I paid for express shipping. I had to have it now. But I was like 10 minutes into my set, and I looked at the crowd, and I was like, "This is not going well, is it?" And they went, "No." And I was like, "Oh man, that didn't even get a laugh. That was the only time you liked me tonight."
Can you clip that, please?
No, I think I threw the SIM card out into the ocean. It was like, this can't be repeated or deleted. It must be destroyed. But, I think you could, if you have fun with a bomb, you can
Right.
get over it. That's
Oh,
what
yeah.
I think that's the ISIS statement. But
Yeah.
I try to have as much fun as I can when I'm not doing well.
That's good. I call it the bomb hot tub, where you're just like,
Welcome back to the
settle
bomb.
in.
Just
Today we're
sit
going to
in
talk
it.
about why I thought it was a good idea to tell that joke.
Yeah, such a good bomb hot tub.
Yeah.
Oh
bomb
my
hot
god.
Settle in, folks.
Yes. Folks, the water's not fine.
Oh my, that's how I felt last night with everyone standing at the show.
Yeah. Oh,
For
that's
the
weird.
listeners, I was
Yeah.
at a show last night where the crowd was standing like a concert. And and it was so fucking uncomfortable. And I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to be okay with this. Like, I'm just going to have fun and try to be okay with it,
Yeah.
because what's the alternative?
Right.
Sometimes the worst shows are the most fun because you're like, I'm not gonna try and like crush right now, and
Yeah.
it's fun.
I think that's a good message we taught our listeners today. Just be
Don't
cool.
try.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
be cool.
But that's
And
also
be
like,
a doormat.
I was saying this. I'm like so annoying. Okay. What we were talking at the diner, I was saying like this is the fun career. Like we're
Right.
doing this on purpose so we don't have to do the annoying fucking other career that we thought we maybe would do.
Right.
And so like you have to enjoy it even in those dark moments,
Yeah.
because like why else would we do it? Like
Right.
then just have a shitty job that you'd make a lot of money at.
Yeah.
That's
Am
such
I
a
gonna
good
be
point.
proctologist?
Yeah.
What's that?
Butt
Is
doctor.
it- yeah.
Oh.
It's a real pain in
like
the
a
ass.
colonoscopy person.
Yeah. Well, I think that's part of it, but it's also like if you have a problem with your ass, you go to a proctologist.
Yeah.
You're like,
Ah.
Doc, I sat on this bottle of wine. What do I do?
Yeah.
Well, fuck that. Oh, yeah.
I went to a colorectal surgeon.
A what surgeon?
A colorectal surgeon, which
A
is like the same
colorectal
thing,
sur-
like
right,
all
right, right.
asshole.
Yeah.
And
all
that's-
asshole.
that's
all the
attacked.
time.
We
Colorectal
specialize
surgeon.
in ass.
All ass. Past the grass,
Butt
all ass,
stuff
boys.
only.
You got an ass? We've got a doc.
It's ass half full over here. Woo wee. It smells horrible in this office.
Why were you there?
Okay.
She wanted
So
to get her asshole enlarged.
I have-
That's where you go.
yeah, you gotta get it stretched. If you want things to fit, you gotta get it stretched out.
Get my springs tightened.
I have should I tell you the punt? Okay, I have an anal skin tag.
Oh, that's
Swear to
rough.
God.
I'm so sorry.
It is external of my asshole. I could show you right now. It is hanging out of my asshole as we speak. A piece of skin, unremovable, would have to be surgically removed.
Okay.
But get this.
With
That's
a laser.
removable.
For years I have this, but I'm thinking it's a hemorrhoid, right?
Okay.
I'm like, oh yeah, okay,
Classic
whatever.
mix-up.
Doormat. I'm like, oh, must be a hemorrhoid. All right.
There's a doormat
I'm not gonna
into
complain.
her own ass.
Sorry.
Sorry, I'm sorry. You're just hemorrhoid. Sorry, didn't mean to get mad at you. And so I'm like, it's problem. I go to doc, and he's like, okay, hemorrhoids. But then I like wait longer and longer,
Right.
and I finally go to a doctor, and I'm like, I'm sitting there.
Maggie's lovely.
You're gonna love this part. She goes. She's like, I'm like, I got something hanging out of my ass. I'm pretty sure it's a hemorrhoid. And she's looking at me like, you know, I'm 100 pounds soaking wet. She's like, what could this little fucker have on her asshole? She's like, this little bitch is gonna bother my time, you know, because she got bullied, because she got spit on the bus. Now she's at the fuck because she's triggered by her little asshole. So she's like, and also like, oh my god. So I'm like, you know, I think it's a hemorrhoid, and she's like, all right. She's like, look. We really don't do any surgery. It would have to be really bad to do surgery. Right. She's like, we would do this first, and then we would do this, and then after everything, we would talk about surgery. And I'm like, okay. I get in the room. Yeah. She looks at it for 2 seconds. She's like, all right, so this would be something we would surgically remove. I fucking told you. I told you to shut the fuck up and you know what's in my asshole before you started talking. You judged me way too quick. She judged the book by its cover, and she had no idea. Yeah. And I'm like, oh my god, like I cannot. And it was also like a Chinatown office, like it had like carpeting. You know what I mean? I was like, I can't. If I'm gonna get my ass done, it's gonna be on the Upper East Side. Okay? It's not gonna be down here. So
I was like, Western medicine over here.
Yeah,
no
I was
Chinese
like,
doctor looking at my ass.
Yeah, I was like, all right, and I was like, fuck this bitch. You know.
So next steps are.
So okay. So then I go up to Upper East Side, and he's like,
her and her ass tag.
me and Henry, we go up, and this is like the creme de la creme apparently of ass doctors. Like the coolest dude, one of the coolest motherfuckers I've met to this day.
Were you a little worried as a dude going in?
A little bit, but he was like very down to earth, like very cool.
How old was he?
He was maybe like late 30s.
Ooh, that is
young.
Hot. Stop.
So
I could
awkward.
Not do my ass tag.
Hot. And I'm like,
no.
Get in a doggy position?
Yeah, I'm just like, I just come in naked man. I'm just waiting for him, like bent over.
I'm really impressed. I would have a hard time showing a hot doctor my ass tag.
It was that was when I was like, I didn't do enough research on this doctor.
You want somebody senile.
Old.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
They've been around the block. They've seen it all.
Yes.
Like golf ball tags.
Yes.
Where you're like, mine's cute.
Right.
Like you're welcome.
Right. Also someone who like would not know comedy. You know what I mean? Someone who would not, break HIPAA.
Hands up your ass like you're talking about stand up.
Yeah, they do. He's like, oh, what do you do for a living?
No way. Ass fingers in the butthole.
Yeah.
Damn.
I'm like, funny you should ask. I'm collecting material. He's like, so what do you do? And I'm like,
finishing. He was like, all right, all looks good.
It's always the funniest conversation because you're laying there like this. Like you're like
on your
this,
side,
and you're just like have your pants off, and he's just like fingering your ass, and you're like, yeah, I do comedy, and then I work from home just to make a little cash. So it's like so awkward. But he's like, oh yeah, like we would surgically remove this, and get this, they do Botox on the Upper East Side for your asshole.
Wow. I was gonna say, could you get a BBL like while you're doing it?
Could you imagine, like while you're down there? Listen,
just it's a twofer real quick.
Yeah, just make it just the whole package.
That's a silver lining for an anal tag.
Yeah, so apparently if you get the big bucks, it helps the recovery because then you don't tighten and stuff. But, pardon the pun, I ended up, he's like, okay, it would be a very painful recovery.
Oh, no.
Like, you really have to think about this. I'm like, okay. So I've waited a little bit, and then I went back to another doctor, and she was like, you know what? It is so painful. I hear from people that, like, she was basically like, if you're not a gay man who, like, is there, like, your asshole is a part of what you're doing sexually, because, like, I don't fucking do anal. Or, like, I have, but, never again. And
Bible's pretty clear about that.
Yeah. I'll listen to Jesus Christ and Jesus Christ only, okay? No one's getting in this ass. So I was like, done. And she's like, you know what? If it's not, she was like, wink, wink. If your asshole isn't your whole fucking life, it's not gonna
grow, right?
Yeah. She's like, then don't do it.
Yeah.
So I got this for life. Just hanging out, me and Henry. It doesn't hurt, but it's annoying sometimes. Where I'll feel it, or it's
sit
like
on it
out of place or something, and I'm like,
you just gotta readjust.
Yeah. But I will never.
It's an outie, not an innie.
If I ever pass gas, you can never hear it because it has the thong effect.
No way.
You know what I mean? It will never.
You can't fart out loud?
Yeah.
Devastating.
Right. You would never, it's.
That's wild.
So that's kind of cool.
That's a win.
That's kind of cool. Yeah, kind of a win.
That's a silver lining.
Yeah. But now, and every time I get a Brazilian wax, I'm like, don't mind that thing hanging out. And
hey, how you doing?
I'm just like, oh, don't mind me. Like to this gorgeous little NYU girl doing my fucking Brazilian. I'm like, this is adulting. This is what happens. When
Did you? How old were you when you got it?
It started in college.
Okay.
So that was like, I guess it was like 7 years ago.
That's stressful. It's a long journey.
It's a long relationship to have with a skin
Yeah.
tag.
Do you talk about it on stage?
I have before. I'd like to talk about it more.
It's funny.
Thank you. But I need more jokes for it because it's just like a story. That's
Right.
I like the way you told that story. I think it could work on
I liked
stage.
every
Yes.
second
People
of
are
that.
going to listen to this and be vulnerable and talk about their tags.
Yeah.
now.
I
Yeah.
hope
appreciate
everyone
you for
comment
that.
your tags.
Yeah.
Comment your tags.
Comment
Tell
your
us-
anal skin
Be-
tags.
Yeah.
We're strong. We're together.
We have to wrap up, but
Thank
give
you.
us your tags. How do people follow you?
Okay.
That's a great story, by the way. I'm always going to be thinking about that.
When I hear
Good.
when
Every
I-
time you
want
see
to
me,
know.
you're
I'm
just gonna
just
be
gonna
like,
How's Henry?
yeah.
the word tag
You're
has a
just
new
gonna be like,
meaning
Did
for
you
us.
know Kitty has a scale?
I'm gonna
To the other comics.
I'm gonna do a bit about it now. About your tag.
The next comic coming to the stage.
Do not shake her hand.
She's handicapped. And you could find me on Instagram at Kit Reynolds because I didn't change that one to Kitty. And at Reformed Hot Girl on TikTok.
Love that tag.
Yeah.
That's
Me
good.
too.
And Kitten Reynolds on Twitter. I'm still on Twitter.
You're the best. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks,
Yeah, thank
guys.
you.
And thank Henry for me.
Yeah, thank
I
you
will.
both for being here.
I will.
It was
You're the
fun.
best.
Henry, they love you. And
You should do like a vaudeville act. How do you like school, Henry? Thank you for coming on.
Yes.
So
All right.
good.